Hi guys. This is siditycream, aka Antoinette, and today I'm coming to you guys with a pre-recorded video on the administrative process. So just a little bit about me and who I am. I am again siditycream. What I do is I break down consumer law in an easy way for beginners to understand. So the process that I am teaching to you all is very beginner friendly and really geared more towards beginners, right? So my information has been studied, by credit repair companies and those in the credit repair field, which is not at all an issue, but my information is really geared towards those who have no understanding of consumer law and for those who are discovering this information for the very first time. So I break the laws down in an easy way for you to understand and study. So the most important part of consumer law is to study, study, study. All right, so that's just a little bit about me. This is me. If you don't know who I am, that's me. And let's just get into it. So I was going to do a study session on this topic on my Instagram live, but life happened and I wasn't able to do it. But I said that I would go ahead and pre-record the video and go ahead and put it on YouTube for you guys, right? So let's get into it. The stages of the administrative process. So for those of you who are new to consumer law, the administrative process is pretty much the process for you to begin to clear your credit, right? So what you want to do for the administrative process is you want to go through your credit reports, you want to study, you want to write down laws, you want to gather and then go. You don't want to just gather and go, or you just don't want to hop into the process using templates. You actually want to be able to recite the laws and recite this information. That way people know that you're confident and you know what it is that you're speaking about, because they will eat you up and spit you out the moment that they know, or the moment that they think you don't know what it is that you're talking about. Yeah, you can cite laws, yeah, you can use templates, but when they know you don't know what you're talking about, again, they'll eat you up and regurgitate you and spit you back out. So the first stage of the administrative process, again, getting into the administrative process, it's just the process that you will go to again clear your credit, take your life back, or get your remedy, is what I wanted to say earlier, or get your desired remedy, whether it be for you to have an open-ended credit card, whether it be for you to clear a charge off, um, take care of repossession, get the title to your car, whatever, whatever your desired outcome to be for remedy, you have to go through the administrative process. You have to be putting these people on notice. That way they know you know what you're talking about. That way they know that they violated you. And then you also always want to let them know the next step. So without further ado, let's get into it. So I do talk very fast, but this video will be pre-recorded so that you can stop it, pause it, rewind it, all of that get good information. If you are watching this video on YouTube, go ahead and hit a like for your girl and subscribe to my channel. And I'm gonna go ahead and be dropping more videos this way. I may like this pre-recorded versus live, but I'm still gonna show up on live. But just like and subscribe to my channel, and then I'll make sure that I keep these videos coming for y'all. If nobody's liking and subscribing, I'm going to feel like, okay, well, maybe nobody wants the information, and we can just keep it on Instagram Live. But y'all let me know in the comments. I know y'all gonna watch this and y'all gonna leave y'all comments. So thank y'all in advance. So first, pull your credit report. You have to pull your credit reports, not from Credit Karma, not from any I'm not gonna say third party because they're all third party. Sorry, y'all. Phone ringing. I'm not gonna say not from any third party because they're all third party. But what you want to do is you want to pull your credit reports from the actual credit reporting agencies, right? This thing it's gonna keep ringing. But you want to pull your credit reports from the actual credit reporting agencies, or what I use is Experian. So I'm gonna give you guys processes along with the resources to back it up in this, as much as I can in this free video, right? So what I use is Experian. So you go to Experian.com. You do have to pay for it. I believe it's maybe $12.99 a month or something like that. So yeah, the fraudsters, they do make you pay for your information from them. But go ahead and enroll into a credit reporting agency that will let you get all three of your credit reports. And again, I use Experian because they get all three reports and you get your score, and it lets you also know your other FICO scores, as far as auto, banking, all of that good information will be on Experian.com. So sign up for an account. You can enroll for the free one, but if you do enroll for the free account versus the paid one, you will only get Experian. So you want Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion. So just go ahead and sign up and to get all three. So once you get all three of your reports from Experian, you can either save them to your computer in a PDF file, or you can print them, whichever is easier for you. Some people don't mind the PDF. Some people have to have that paper. It's just contingent on you, your learning style, and what you would like to do. So print them or save them. But as long as you save them in a PDF file, you will have them. This is going to serve as your credit report is going to serve as a documentary or evidence later on in the process of you getting your remedy, because they'll say, they'll go in to try to delete an account, and you will have your credit reports to back it up and say, yeah, you might have deleted it on February the 4th, but on January the 30th, I have my credit report that backs up and shows that you reported this account to my credit report. So pull your credit reports at whatever stages you are. If you have an older one, even better. There is no statute of limitations on fraud, so you can go after these fraudsters, these crooks, at any given moment in time. Take your time with this administrative process. It is no rush. So once you have your credit reports, you want to identify the laws that were violated. It only takes one law, right? So when studying consumer law, a lot of people will get overwhelmed because they feel like they have to go in and they have to execute every small law, not small law, every single law, single law. So every single law that was violated, they want to go in and make sure that they give everything at one time. It's not necessary, although that does help for you to identify everything that was violated, but it only takes one time for you to be violated, right? So put it in this aspect, right? If you were to go and rob a store, right? So you rob the store, that's a crime. Then you rob the store with a gun, that's another crime. It might be, they might put aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, or they might put robbery with a gun, or they're gonna hit you with two different charges, right? The first law you broke by robbing the store, period. But when you use a gun, that was a second law that they broke. So they're not going to say, oh, we're only going to get you on the robbery. They're going to get you on the robbery and the gun, but the bottom basis of the line is that you did do the robbery. So they're not going to just charge you for one thing, they're going to charge you for both. But if you didn't have the gun, it still would be a robbery, is what I'm getting at. So if you rob the store with a gun, you're going to get two charges. If you rob the store without a gun, you're still going to get charged. It's still a criminal offense, and you're still going to be charged. It only takes one criminal offense. It only takes one violation. That's what I'm trying to get at. So don't overthink things, right? So going in, and you can identify whichever law that you want to go to, whichever laws that you want to go with, you can do that. Excuse me, the laws that I would suggest, or the laws that I recommend for beginners, I use Law Cornell, so I would recommend the FCRA. So 15 USC 1681, Title 15 is Chapter 41 is the FCRA. So this is the FCRA. This is what it looks like. In my previous videos, I have referred you guys to study the definition, study congressional findings. This is what I'm reverting you guys to. So on Law Cornell, this is the FCRA for credit reporting agencies. As you can see here, it goes into the very first thing of 1681, and it tells you what the Congress find the need to enact this law for, right? So you'll click on that. This is how you study. It's just this simple. So when you click on 15 USC 1681, Congressional Findings and Statement of Purpose, this is telling you why Congress felt the need to enact the FCRA, right? So Congress says here that Congress found, makes the following findings. So Congress found that the banking system was dependent upon fair and accurate credit reporting. So what they're saying is the banking system needs for the consumers to have fair and accurate credit reporting. Why? Because inaccurate credit reports, they impact the efficiency of the banking system, right? So they're saying if y'all don't have good credit, or if these people are being unfair to y'all, then y'all are impacting the banking system, right? So they're undermining or what they found was that the methods that the credit reporting agencies or the debt collectors, they were undermining the public's confidence, right, which is essential to them continuing to function in the banking system. So Congress is like, okay, hold on, wait a minute, because y'all not going in and sharing, showing the consumers fair and accurate credit reportings, and y'all are not going in and making sure that they are being treated fairly when it comes to the accuracy of their credit reporting. Y'all are undermining the public's confidence, so they're not going to be as confident as to apply for these loans and lines of credits, which is essential to them to function in the banking system. So if y'all caught that, go ahead and let me know in the comments below. Let me know if y'all caught that, right? If you didn't, go ahead and rewind it again and break it on down. So this is what Congress is saying. So this is why they enacted the Fair Credit Reporting Act. So they're saying that we developed this system for investigating, evaluating the credit worthiness, credit standing, and credit capacity, character, and general reputation of the consumer. So they're saying that we're going to go ahead and develop the FCRA to investigate, evaluate all of this for the general population and consumers. So they pretty much went in and said that, if, the credit reporting agencies, the debt collectors, all of these people have to abide by the law of this subchapter. If they don't, then they are going to be in direct violation. And that's when it comes in, when you guys are be able to get remedy, right? So if they don't abide by what Congress enacted, so this is what they found, and they went ahead and said that, the purpose of the subchapter is to require that these credit reporting agencies, they put these processes, procedures, and methods in place for consumers to make sure that they get the fair and equitable confidentiality, accuracy, relevancy, and proper utilization of the information in accordance with the requirements of this subchapter. So they said that, the consumers need to be treated fairly. They need to have equitable confidentiality, accuracy, all of this good stuff. So that's the purpose of them enacting this law, the FCRA, is because they want them to be required to follow these processes and procedures. If they don't, then again, you in direct violation. And they still let you know as a consumer. I'll just hit back. So as a consumer, it's on subchapter Title 41 FCRA. So that was just the congressional findings. That's what they found. They still let you know in this same law, if they don't abide by it, or they willfully fail to comply, if they don't just, because they will not comply. The Congress already showed you that they know that they're doing stuff that's unfair, right? So they are already known for being unfair, treating us unfairly, which is why the FCRA was enacted. So Congress went ahead and made it a law, which if they willfully sit up here and keep being negligent and non-compliant, you guys are entitled to actual damages. So actual damages sustained by the consumer. That's what this $1,000 per violation comes in. And if you see everybody talking about this $1,000 per violation, that comes from the FCRA 15 USC 1681N for willful non-compliance, right? So that if they don't willfully comply with any requirement that's imposed under this subchapter, which I just explained to you is the FCRA, then the consumer is liable. They're liable to you for either $1,000 in damages or actual damages, right? So we like to go for the big bag and see actual damages. That information I'll go over in boot camp. Boot camp will be later this month, February the 26th. Tickets will go out very shortly here. If you text new credit to 21,000, you will be notified when seats go live for boot camp. So in boot camp, we are going to be talking about the actual process and how to actually seek actual damages. I'm going to teach you the process of how to file suit, who to file suit with, all of that good information we're going to cover in boot camp. So on YouTube, we're just going to be giving you the pretty much what I feel is basic study sessions, right? In boot camp, we'll go into actual damages. So we'll go and get into that information later, right? Another set of laws, but with the FCRA, I wanted to speak about before we move to the other set of laws is in the FCRA, right? The most powerful law that you will take from the FCRA is 15 USC 1681 B as in boy, and that's this permissible purpose subchapter, right? So 15 USC 1681 talks about the consumer, which is you, providing the credit reporting agencies, whether it be TransUnion, Experian, Equifax, whether it be LVN Funding, Midland Funding, whomever these credit repair people are, or not credit repair people, whoever these credit reporting people are, whoever reporting information on you as a consumer, this subchapter is telling them that they need to have your permission. So this subchapter was created for them to know that they have to have your permission, right? So what it says, and we'll break it down right here. So it says in this subchapter that any consumer reporting agency, which is the ones I just mentioned, Equifax, TransUnion, LVN Funding, all of them good people, they can furnish a consumer report, right, under the following circumstances, and Congress says in no other. So they can furnish a consumer report, right, but it has to be under the following circumstances, and Congress says in no other. So what does that mean? Well, let's see. Let's go down to number 2. It says so they can furnish it, right, under the following circumstances, right? So the following circumstances in number 2 states, in accordance with the written instruction of the consumer to whom it relates. So they can furnish your consumer report in accordance with the written instructions of the consumer. Who is the consumer? You and I, right? We are consumers. So if you didn't write any written instructions of the consumer to whom it relates, which is you, if you didn't provide any written instructions for any consumer reporting agencies to furnish a consumer report on you, and Congress did say in no other circumstances, so clearly it says they have my written instruction, they are now in direct violation of 15 USC 1681B. So when you begin the process of clearing your credit, that's you're gonna state that first. Remember, I told y'all earlier, it only takes one law. So you're gonna let them know off the dribble. That's just how I talk. That's how I speak. I'm not all professional. You get what I'm saying? I'm real ghetto. If y'all follow me on Instagram at siditycream, this is my Instagram, right? If y'all follow me on Instagram at siditycream, y'all see I'm a real tell like it is person, right? So I'm not gonna sugarcoat anything. If you find that I'm not a person that you can relate to and you can't learn from, then by all means go ahead and block me, unfollow me. However y'all do it on YouTube, I don't know, but it ain't gonna be no hard feelings. It's just how I talk. I try to be relatable to the people that has been through similar situations as me. You get what I'm saying? So I'm not on here trying to be all professional. So let's jump back into it. So what I was saying is, if you go ahead and you write the credit bureaus, the credit reporting agents, they're not the bureaus. I'll go into that later. But if you write the credit reporting agencies and tell them that I did not provide you any permissible purposes, I didn't provide you, not permissible purpose, I didn't provide you any written instructions for you to furnish a consumer report on me in the first place. So if you write the consumer reporting agency and you tell them that, and you put them on notice with what we put them on notice with the administrative process, right? You identify the laws that they violated. So the first law that they violated was that they reported they furnished a report on you in the first place. That's the first law that they violated. So you're going to put them on notice, write them an affidavit and tell them that y'all furnished this report on me in the first place. I didn't give you permission, right? So you write in that letter, you send it to them. And if they continue to go ahead and report whatever account that is without your written instruction, remember I told you, they are now willfully being non-compliant. So you put them on notice, you told them I didn't give you written instruction, you breaking the law, and they're gonna still report that account or report on you. Now they are being willfully non-compliant. And now you can seek actual damages, or they are or you can seek that $1,000 per violation, right? So that's the first. I'm dropping y'all real gems on the YouTube. If I'm dropping y'all real gems on the YouTube, go ahead and drop me some gems on the comment section. Let me know that you watch this replay. You get what I'm saying? That's all I need. Thank y'all so much. And make sure you like and subscribe to your girl here on YouTube. Okay, so that's willful and non-compliant. So I wanted to discuss that before we moved on to the next set of laws, which would be the FDCPA. If anybody know what the FDCPA is, that is the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act, and that's going to be found on under 15 USC 1692. Yeah, 15 USC 1692. That's the Debt Collection Practices Act. Y'all see it here, still Title 15, Chapter 41. A lot of people will not break down this information to you. They'll tell you go study. This is why I want to break down most of this information to beginners, because some people just don't know where to start. And I'm showing you right here in the video, this is where you start. You start with the FCRA, excuse me, the portion that we just spoke about earlier. You'll start with the FCRA, you start with the congressional finance and the definitions. I didn't go over definitions in the first one, and I apologize, but I'll show you in this one. This is just how you study. You want to find the law and take your time with it. It's not a race. Take your time. There is no statute of limitations on fraud. Take your time. So you go to the subchapter of the law that you want to study. So we're gonna do the FDCPA. You want to see why did Congress enact this, and then you want to go to the definitions to see what it means before you get into the actual laws and civil liability and the process. All of this you can study on your own. But again, we're just gonna go over just a little bit today here in this pre-recorded video. So now, why did Congress enact the FDCPA? Right? Why did they find the need to say that we're going to give a set of laws to the consumer? Right? We are the consumer, the natural people. Well, Congress saw that there was an abundant evidence, so they had enough evidence to see that there was abusive, deceptive, and unfair debt collection practices by many debt collectors. So they saw that, the debt collection practices were contributing to a number of bankruptcies, marital instabilities, job loss, and invasions of individual privacy. So they saw that these debt collectors were pretty much relentless, and Congress was like, okay, nah, we're going to stop this because you guys are, y'all being too deceptive, too abusive, y'all doing too much unfair stuff when it comes to consumers. So what we're going to do is, and then y'all invading their privacy, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to actually enact the FDCPA for the consumer. And this is what they saw. They saw that, there was abusive practices, right? So they saw that the existing laws and procedures for redressing the injuries were inadequate to protect consumers. Again, these laws were to protect the consumers. They're not protecting the debt collectors. They don't have no laws to protect the debt collectors. They have laws to protect the consumers, right? So they pretty much wanted the FDCPA, the purpose of the FDPC, I'm so tongue twisted, the purpose of the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act, which is the FDCPA, right? So the purpose of the subchapter is to eliminate all of that abusive debt collection, all of those abusive debt collection practices. They wanted to ensure that the debt collectors who were refraining from using abusive debt collection practices, and that they were not consistently trying to promote actions to get consumers against debt collection abuses. So that is the purpose of the FDCPA. So they said, here are a set of laws that we're going to protect y'all from these debt collectors. So this subchapter was enacted solely to protect the consumers from debt collectors, right? So they went in and they said, I wanted to define or let you know when I'm speaking under these laws what exactly we mean in the sentences or in the laws that we enacted. We want you to know what we mean. So we're going to give you the definitions of what we mean, right? So remember, I told y'all earlier that the credit bureaus or credit reporting agencies were not bureaus. They wanted you to know under the FDCPA that the term bureau means the Bureau of Consumer Financial Protection. We're going to get into that later. So y'all have been thinking that the TransUnion, Equifax, and TransUnion were bureaus. They're not bureaus. They assume that role. They assume the role. They're not associated with the government in any shape, form, or fashion. And the CFPB, or the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, is actually for the people, right? So that's the only bureau that is identified or even, talked about amongst consumers. The only bureau should be the CFPB. The TransUnion, Equifax, and all of them, they're just credit reporting agencies. That's all. They assume that role and they sticking with it, and that's why Congress enacted these laws for y'all, right? So the term consumer, pursuant to the definition of the FDCPA, means any natural person obligated, or always means that you can choose which one you want to interpret it as, right? So obligated or allegedly obligated to pay a debt, any debt. So that's what the term consumer means. And you guys can go through these laws. I'm not going to go through all of them. Not laws, these definitions. You guys can go through all of these definitions and just see what it is that Congress meant when they are citing these laws and what do they mean by that. And then when you get into it, you'll start to see let me see. So when it comes to validation of debts, and you were to get into the law for validation of debts, right? Um, and you'll start to see Congress citing the laws, right? So they say in the amount of debt. So you'll click on this, and the Congress tell you what we mean by the term debt, and then you guys will be able to go in and interpret those as you see fit. So FDCPA and FCRA will be the first places that you want to start to study before you progress and move on to try to want to sue anybody, or before you move in and try to write any affidavits. You first want to have a good understanding of the laws and what they mean before you go on into it. So back to the stages of the administrative process, that was identifying the laws. And then as far as labeling the violations, you can label the violations, or you can go ahead and make note of the violations. And you can label the violations on your credit report. You can label the violations on your correspondences from the debt collectors or credit reporting agencies. You can label them on paper, or you can make note of them in a notepad, or if you like to write, however you want to do your process. Just make sure that you make note of how you, the consumer, were violated, and make note of which law was violated. So you don't just want to go out and just cite laws, or you don't want to just go out and say, oh, um, TransUnion didn't have my permission to report this. You want to say TransUnion violated uh, this law by doing this, and back it up with your exhibits and show them your credit report. So TransUnion violated 15 USC 1681B by reporting this credit report on me without my written instruction. And you want to back that up with your exhibit, which would be your credit report, and show that they are reporting this credit report without your permission. Major violation. That's all. I mean, that's all it takes. It will take some um elbow grease, backbone. It's not just a process, one size fit all process. Y'all know everything is different. You get what I'm saying? And the credit reporting agencies are starting to know that we are coming into this knowledge and coming into how to use this knowledge, and it's kind of scaring them. So don't ease up and don't let up. That's why I say study and educate yourself, because they're gonna try to come back and keep violating y'all. They're gonna come back and keep telling y'all that they verified. They didn't verify AFAT. I can't cuss on YouTube, but they didn't verify anything, right? So I could be my silly goofy self sometimes, but I can't cuss on YouTube, I guess. I don't know. But they can't they ain't violate. I mean, they ain't verified nothing. They can't continue to violate you. But I don't want y'all to do, what is what I'm trying to get at. I don't want y'all to just go out there, send any old templates, them come back and say, whatever they say to continue. Congress just told y'all they do deceptive and unfair stuff. They're gonna try to tell y'all that they are right and they are not right. Here are the laws that back it up to show y'all that they're not right. So don't let up, don't give up is what I'm getting at. Don't let up and don't give up. Don't let them bully you into a back wall and make you think that you don't know what you're talking about when you do know what you're talking about. So excuse me, that goes for labor violations, right? Then the next thing you want to get into is constructing your affidavit.